My name is Kiara. I was a doctor, once dedicated to curing. But life turned my path to the darkness of revenge. I lost my family, my genius father, my kind mother, and my sweet autistic little brother, all massacred by an immortal creature named Omega. Omega was not a man. He was a god of death in disguise. No power had ever resisted him. And I was only a man with a battered body and a flame within me that would not be extinguished. Chapter 1: The Kingdom of Hired Heroes. I passed through deserts and broken cities to arrive at the secret kingdom of Calista, a hidden prison fortress where super beings were imprisoned, not for justice but for money. For the appropriate price, even gods were available for hire. There, I encountered Mr. Flask, the warden. I explained to him my history. My father, a scientist, had developed a cure for a rare measles epidemic, a formula Omega wished to obliterate. Omega attacked our family. My father gave me the cure and instructed me to escape. But I didn't go far. Omega ran us over and demanded the formula. I handed it over to him, pleading for the life of my brother. He accepted it and killed my brother regardless. I lived with shattered bones and nothing in the world. Mr. Flask, with greed on his mind, sold me the 5 most formidable fighters in Calista. Mr. X, an impact-absorbing juggernaut who gives 10 times as much impact back. Mr. Zen, a psychic fighter whose stare causes splitting headaches. Mr. Yak, twin axe-wielding brute who could chop through steel. Mr. Simp, winged and fast, diving like a missile. Demon, a mystic whose bubbling acid blistered anything. Omega's fortress was our destination. Chapter 2: The Storm of Shadows. Omega was ready. His bawling laughter was heard echoing through the black spires of his stronghold. "Run back, child," he told us. "You cannot prevent what I am." I lifted my head. "I didn't come to stop you. I came to end you." But Omega divided himself, 5 duplicates, each a match for one of my heroes in power and might. Each duplicate replicated our skills, but with vicious enhancements. Our powers, when activated, were twisted against us, doubled and degraded. The field of battle became a bloodbath. My warriors fell one by one. Not slain, but shattered. Drained. Outmatched. We were vanquished. Omega spared me. "Return when you discover God," he told me. "You'll require him." Chapter 3: The Tree and the Sage. Shattered, I walked among the ruins of my dreams. And I saw him, a sage, seated beneath a tree where no tree would ever grow. He glanced up at me and said, "Come, daughter. Each curse has a key. Go northeast, into the mountains. There, find Dan Jola." "Who is he?" I inquired. The sage smiled. "The monster's son. Brought up by a woman. The sole creature capable of beating Omega." Chapter 4: Son of Fire. 30 years have passed since 2 great monsters gave birth to a child within the secret mountain caves of the village of Tripti. The villagers, scared of destruction, set the cave ablaze. The mother rescued the child, burning alive. The father hugged them both and protected them, frying in the fire. Their ashes remained, their abilities transferred to the child. 2 days had passed, and a woman named Amravati had discovered the infant among the wreckage. She adopted him, loved him, and gave him the name Dan Jola. He became tall and terrible, 7 feet, chains on his shoulders, tail at his back, and glowing bangles on his wrists, marks of his parents' sacrifice. But the world despised him. When infrequent measles broke out in Tripti, Amravati fell ill. The villagers ostracized them to the caves. Dan Jola pleaded for aid. None arrived. Chapter 5: The Doctor's Promise. I reached the mountain cave. Dan Jola emerged from the shadows, tall, fierce, guarded. "Leave. The disease is airborne. You'll die. Then I'll die curing your mother." He was shocked. "Why?" "Because you're my only hope to defeat Omega. If I heal her, you fight for me. Deal?" He nodded. I employed my father's formula. For weeks, I fought infection, working relentlessly. And finally, Amravati opened her eyes, healed. Dan Jola fell on his knees before me. "You gave me everything. Now, I give you vengeance." Chapter 6: The Final Hour. The sage greeted us again. "To kill Omega, you have to fight for 24 hours continuously. At precisely 11:59, he will enter a second-long sleep. That is your chance. Shoot him in the neck." Dan Jola got ready. I set up the gun. We approached Omega's throne. "You brought one beast. Omega taunted. Foolish. No, Danjola stated. I brought your end. The fight started. Omega called out 10 duplicates. Then hundreds. Then thousands. Danjola battled like a god. His bangles radiated with power, his tail smashed force, his roar rattled the heavens. Omega's legion dwindled, millions to thousands to one. At 11:59, Omega stood, panting. Why do you battle for humans? He asked. Danjola bound him with his tail. Because a human raised me. Because she taught me love. Omega's eyes went wide. No. Bang. I fired. The bullet hit his neck. Omega died. Chapter 7, The Price of Victory. Mr. Flask came with his soldiers. Danjola has to be locked away. I stood before him. You employed him for gold. I employed him for love. He is no captive. He is my hero. Mr. Flask retreated, beaten. We returned to Tripti. I handed out the cure. We saved lives. The villagers, once terrified, now knelt in thanks. And there, beneath the sky our parents once perished under, I wed Danjola. With Amravati's blessings, our new life started. Epilogue, the sage's truth. The sage once told us, where there is hope, there is God. But God only comes when your time is ready. I am Kiara. And I live with my monster. My hero. My love. Danjola. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe for more interesting stories. Thanks for your support.